My name is Teresa Moy, and I am the Recruitment and Outreach Coordinator. We have Ms. Jamila Roy. She is our Student Coordinator. Mr. Dakota Allen is our Program Specialist. Mr. Elroy Herman is our Program Specialist as well. We have our guest presenters, Dr. Raven Kennedy, Veterinary Medical Officer, and Ms. Faith Sprague, Animal Health Technician. During today's session, we will cover the following topics: introduction of veterinary services. We will discuss hiring paths that are available, benefits, resume writing tips, navigating USA jobs, and then we will have a question and answer session. So if you do have a question during the presentation, there is a box at the bottom of your screen that says Q&A. So we ask that you please put all of your questions in the Q&A box, and we will be sure to respond to them as we go along. All right, allow me to introduce you to our Deputy Administrator and Chief Veterinary Medical Officer, Dr. Rosemary Sifford. Dr. Sifford began her career with USDA as a Salty Wilson Scholar in 1997. She has since held various roles within APHIS, spanning policy and operations. The mission of veterinary services is of utmost importance in maintaining the health of America's agricultural animals and enhancing the quality and marketability of our nation's livestock. Dr. Sifford understands that it is crucial to ensure that the right people are in the right positions. She also knows that every day the efforts of veterinary services employees has a significant impact on the countless individuals throughout the country and around the world. All right, so to introduce you, I will talk about the business units within veterinary services. We have 4 business units, and one of them is diagnostics and biologics. They bring together VS Science Centers to provide solid scientific, technical, and analytical foundation needed to support veterinary services in meeting its mission. Diagnostics and biologics comprise of the Center of Veterinary Biologics, the National Veterinary Services Laboratories, and the National Animal Health Laboratory Network. Our next unit is strategy and policy. They bring together VS's centralized epidemiology, incident coordination, animal health, program management, and animal health import and export activities, including policy setting, representation at the World Organization for Animal Health. They also perform disease reporting, pathways analysis, and risk assessment, including permit issuance and pre-export inspections. So now I'd like to introduce Mr. Elroy Herman, who will present the last 2 business units within veterinary services. Elroy?
Thanks, Teresa. I'll be giving a brief overview of 2 business units, resources, people, and services, known as RPS, and field operations. There are 4 divisions that make up the resource people services. First is general services. General services ensures effective and efficient administrative services across veterinary services, to include travel, web TA, in which employees manage their time and attendance, emergency management, continuity of operations oversight, safety, and property and space management. The second is money management. Money management provides services for financial management, budget formulation, grants, and agreements, just to name a few. The third is our division, which is people operations. People operations focuses on veterinary services' most valuable resources, which is our employees. We provide program level oversight, guidance, and services for recruitment, outreach, position management, career planning, technical training, and personal development. The fourth is planning, assessments, and communications, known as PAC. PAC consists of the planning and assessment team who administers communication activities throughout veterinary services, supporting and managing functions of the General Accountability Office and the USDA's Office of the Inspector General, conducting audits and reviews and recommendations. The communication team is an integrative team of writers, outreach specialists, and regulatory analysts who work together to support veterinary services staff by providing communication products. Next slide, please. Finally, we have field operations. They work to improve the health, productivity, and quality of life of animals and people throughout the strategy, development, and implementation of veterinary services, surveillance, preparedness, and response activity. Field operations focuses on the broad spectrum of animal health needs centered on each of the major animal commodity groups. For each commodity, field operations carries out functions ranging from early awareness and surveillance to the development and field implementation of animal health programs and emergency response. Now I'd like to introduce Ms. Jamila Roy, who will present the hiring paths and benefit opportunities that are available.
Thank you, Elroy. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I will be discussing the hiring paths and the benefits that we offer. First, I will start with our hiring paths. As you see, we have several ways to join the veterinary services team. We have our traditional competitive hiring, which involves applying and competing for a position either by way of promotion or posting for an open position. We have the veterans hiring, which provides a pathway for those who served our nation to receive preferred consideration. We have the disability hiring, which is our Schedule A, which is an authority to increase employment opportunities for people with disabilities in the federal government. USDA also offers several pathways programs that allow for individuals from various walks of life and backgrounds to develop and grow their talents by way of internships and recent graduate positions. Specifically for veterinary services, our students who are seeking internship opportunities, we offer the Star T. Wilson Jr. Internship Program, which is geared towards undergraduate and graduate students studying veterinary medicine and or biomedical sciences. This internship offers to pay up to $7,500 per year for undergraduate and up to $15,000 per year for graduate students, tuition, tutors, and lab fees. This is a paid employment during the summer breaks as a veterinary student trainee. Another similar internship program we offer is the Danny Salmon Program, which is geared towards students who are studying in a non-veterinary field of study. This program offers to pay up to $7,500 per year for undergraduate and up to $15,000 per year for the graduate students. With paid employment during the summer break as a student trainee, for both programs, the students are eligible to convert into a non-competitive permanent position within veterinary services. VS also offers an externship program. Although this is not a pathway program, it is our non-paid volunteer opportunity for undergraduate and graduate students to learn hands-on of what it takes to protect American agriculture. The externships last approximately 2 to 6 weeks and can be completed throughout the year as we accept applications year-round. Additionally, we also have our direct hire authority, which is critical for USDA opportunities. This authority enables an agency to hire qualified candidates without having to adhere to certain normal personnel procedures. So a common example is a DHA expedites hiring by eliminating the competitive rating/ranking, vet preference, and the rule of 3 to procedures in the cases of VMOs, medical occupations, IT, cyber, and STEM positions. Next slide, please. Now I'm going to move on and talk about our benefits that we offer. Besides our total compensation package you will receive while working in the federal government, we also offer a diverse range of benefits and work-life flexibility to meet the needs for you and your family, such as paid time off, which includes vacation, sick leave, federal holidays, and parental leave, affordable medical, dental, vision, life insurance, and flexible spending accounts, which is FSA. Next slide, please. We also offer retirement benefits, thrift saving plan, which is TSP, which is our 401k program that matches employees generously, and our employee assistance program, our work-life wellness program, training and leadership development opportunities, and many other incentives for eligible employees. So this concludes my presentation. Now I would like to introduce Ms. Teresa Moy to discuss the resume writing tips.
Thank you, Jamila. All right, we will now briefly discuss some resume writing tips. So what should be included in your federal resume? Your federal resume should clearly communicate your skills to potential employers. Given their length, they need to easily be understood by someone unfamiliar with your work and can match your experience to the job duties and qualifications. Be sure to read the announcement before applying. Carefully read the entire job announcement. We would like you to also focus on certain sections, the duties and qualifications, also the KSAs. Review the announcement to ensure that you have the required specialized experience for the position. The how to apply section, be sure to check the application process. Include the assessment questionnaires, because within those there are important information that you can get for the announcement. How you will be evaluated section. This includes the level of experience, education, and training needed for the job. Does your education, training, experience align with the announcement? Next slide, please. All right, so what to include in the resume? Resume essentials for the federal jobs include, they often require a specific work experience for a designated period. Showcase how your skills align with the qualifications listed in the job announcement to be considered for the position. Start with your current contact information to include your name, email, and phone, and ensure it's complete and accurate. Be sure to carefully review the job announcement to include all your required contact information. Regarding your work experience, include your start and end dates, month and year, hours worked per week, and then detailed descriptions of your experience. Highlight your specific roles like your project manager or team member skills to demonstrate your level of experience. Also ensure your experience addresses each required qualification from the job announcement. The more detailed, the better, as federal resumes can be longer than private sector ones. Next slide, please. Also include volunteer work and roles in community organization. Don't just limit yourself to paid work experience. Relevant volunteer work and community organization roles can also demonstrate your ability to excel in the job. And then also be sure to use numbers to highlight your accomplishments. Incorporate numbers, percentages, or dollars to showcase all of your achievements. These figures, you can find them sometimes in your performance reviews, your previous job descriptions, awards write-ups, and letters of recommendation. Providing concrete evidence of your accomplishment will definitely help you in obtaining that perfect position. Now, I'd like to post a quick poll question that you should see come up in your screen. Again, this is just a quick question, is how many of you have created a federal resume? So far, it looks like it's half and half. You guys will have a few more seconds. Jamila, can you? All right, looks like it's half and half. So what numbers did you see, Jamila? Is it, oh.
I see for yes, it's 51% and 4%.
Okay, all right. So for those who responded that for the yes, so you're well on your way. And if it's no, it's okay. We're also here to help you know, help you with your resume as well. And we can set up another time for that as well. So some additional tips and final thoughts. Remember to customize your resume. Tailor your resume to each job announcement, emphasizing your strengths and relevant experience while omitting irrelevant ones. Use similar terms and address every required qualification. Also ensure your resume contains the specific terms mentioned in the job announcement to match the required qualifications. You also want to organize your resume to make it easy to understand, by presenting your experience in a clear and organized manner to help agencies evaluate your qualifications effectively. Be concise. Make sure the hiring manager can see your main credentials or experience within 10 to 15 seconds of looking at your resume. Your critical information should stand out and effectively sell yourself pretty much on the first page. Review your resume before you apply. Check for spelling and grammatical errors, and then also have someone with a keen eye for detail review your resume. All right, this concludes my brief presentation on resume writing tips. I'll now give the floor to Mr. Dakota Allen, who will be discussing navigating USA jobs. Dakota?
Thanks so much, Teresa. I am going to give a short, quick overview on USA Jobs, which is the official employment site of the federal government. If you're interested in any federal position, this is where you'll go. The site is pretty intuitive, but this overview can help you get started. With the USA Jobs profile, you can create or upload up to 5 distinct resumes, search for jobs by agency, occupation, location, and more, save job searches and get automatic notifications to your email or phone, or you could save jobs that interest you. I'm gonna put up a quick poll question here. How many of you have created a USA Jobs profile? All right, well, it looks like most of you are pretty familiar. We got about 2/3 of you have your USA Jobs profiles already set up. And that is great. You're well on your way to applying for a federal job. Now you might ask, after you've got that a profile set up, where do you start? First, you got to create a login.gov account, sorry. USA Jobs is now using login.gov for their sign-in process. Once you create a login.gov account, you can sign into USA Jobs and create a profile. Your profile includes all the information you need to apply to a federal job, your name, address, and other important information that are submitted for each job application. It's important to create a profile because you can use this information to improve your job search results and help you fill in parts of a job application. With a profile, you can also upload resumes, save jobs, and save job searches. As mentioned on the last slide, you can store up to 5 unique resumes within your profile. This will help you target your resume to different types of jobs. You can also create a resume using the resume builder. This tool will help you create a resume for you by asking you to enter information such as previous work experience and skills. Once your account is established, you can search for jobs. Take advantage of the USA Jobs search tool. The more details you provide, the more effective your results will be. Start by filtering your job search. You can search for jobs by keyword, occupation, or job category, agency, location, salary range, and pay grade. We're going to do a quick live demo of USA Jobs just so you can see what it's like to search on that website. I have USA Jobs already up here. Under the keywords title, you'll search where you want to go. We're just going to put our agency, Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. Should come up right there. Click that, automatically search. Oh, my apologies. All right, and here we can see that we have 21 positions available currently. You can further filter on the right side of the screen here by narrowing it down for what positions are open to the public or students, as well as the pay range and other specifications. Now, that's how you would search for a position on USA Jobs. Back to our presentation. You can also save your searches and receive notifications. You can set up automated job searches based on your search criteria. USA Jobs will email you daily, weekly, or monthly when there are new jobs entered into the database that meet your needs. Once you find a job you're interested in, read the entire job announcement and pay close attention to the "this job is open to" and "who may apply" sections to see if you're eligible for the position, as well as the qualifications section to learn what skills and experience you need for the position, and the "how to apply" section to learn about agency-specific instructions, required documents, and contact information. From here, you can prepare and submit your job application. Once your application is ready, select Apply Online, and you'll be transferred to the hiring agency application system. And at that point, you move into the hiring agency process. We really want to highlight the specialized experience section of a job announcement, located under qualifications. For any federal position you apply for, you must make sure you address each of these items listed under specialized experience in your resume. This example announcement has 2 items for the GS-12 level, highlighted here. Experience relating to both items must be present in your resume in order to qualify for the position. Finally, after applying, you can check the status of your application in the application section of USA Jobs. From here, you can keep watch over all your current applications. Now that you have seen how to apply for the job with USDA, we have a few guests who can tell you more about the work itself. I'd like to introduce one of our guest speakers, Dr. Raven Kennedy, Veterinary Medical Officer with Field Operations.
Good afternoon, guys, and thank you for joining in for this. It's great being here with you all today. Just a little background on myself. I joined the USDA in 2016 as a Food Safety Inspection Service pathway student. I was later selected as an Adele Malak Scholar through the Food Safety Inspection Service. Then after graduating from veterinary school, I served as a supervisory public health veterinarian in Tar Heel, North Carolina at a large market hog facility. After that, I went on to Richmond, Virginia, where I served as a frontline supervisor with the Food Safety Inspection Service. In the spring of 2023, I came over to APHIS Veterinary Services, where I'm responsible for the Piedmont section of North Carolina. And I'm happy to be here with you guys today. So just to give you a little background on what my role entails and what we do out here, one of our primary goals is to investigate foreign animal diseases as they arise, or we conduct the investigations as incidents arise. So some of the things that we're looking out for there are, reports from accredited veterinarians where they're seeing, high mortality, high morbidity, things that just don't quite make sense and could possibly lend themselves to diseases that we don't currently have in the United States. One of those that we're always on the lookout for, of course, would be like African swine fever, for example. We're also foot and mouth disease is also a very, very big concern of ours. So we often spend our days, responding to reports from veterinarians where, they may call and say, hey, I see this, this, and this. And we get an investigation going. We get out there and sample on the farms, which really makes for interesting work and very rewarding work. Another part of what we do out in the field is general disease surveillance. So we have several surveillance programs that we carry out. And to give you an example of those, scrapie, brucellosis, tuberculosis, diseases like that are known to be in the United States, but we're trying to get a hold of how many we have, where they are, those sorts of things, and identifying those herds. So that's a big part of what we do on the day-to-day. Another aspect of what we do are animal health certificates. So travel certificates for international travel for pets and other animals. So that's really one of my favorite things in particular. We do spend some time going through reviewing the information provided by the accredited vets and ensuring that before that animal, leaves the United States and gets ready to go on its trip with its owners or whatever, that it meets the importing country requirements. Because it would be a terrible thing for someone to be traveling with their pet and think they're going to go through everything smoothly and have no incidents, and they get held up at a border or something like that somewhere. So we go through those certificates and ensure that the animals all meet the requirements of the importing country, and make sure all that's squared away and certify those. So that's one of the things we do. Another aspect of the position is that we perform facility inspections. And so our facilities that we inspect, they could be exporting pet food products. They could be exporting biologicals. We inspect laboratories as well. So we ensure that they are to standard, and that, if they are exporting a product, that their facility meets the requirements of the importing country. Also, a good part of what we spend our time doing is outreach. And as far as outreach, we'll conduct visits, at high schools, universities. We will attend conferences, and our goal there is to let folks know what we do and that we're here to help. We have a lot of information and assets, resources we can share with people. But a large thing of that is that we have to let them know that we're available and we're here and we can answer their questions. And we're always happy to go out into the field and help folks out. So that is a large part of what we do. I listed research on here as well, because something that we're going to be participating here the next year in 2024, the non-sheep study is coming up here. And so as field personnel in North Carolina, we're going to be participating in that by assisting producers with completion of their questionnaires, collecting samples for them, and, as far as parasite samples, things like that. So we're going to get some information collected for the NOMS group, and hopefully that all works out well. Something that's very, very interesting that we do also is that we often go on details and deployments. And as you'll hear in just a couple minutes here from AHT Sprague, she is actually on a deployment right now. So we often have opportunities to go out and do other things, assist in other areas where where they may need some backup, or they may have specific things going on that we can help with. Faith is out now, like I said, and in next month I'll be going out to Nevada to assist the Bureau of Land Management with a wild horse and burro gather as their veterinary personnel on the site there. So there are a lot of interesting things. Another example of an interesting deployment or detail, I should say, that's coming up is the tropical bont tick surveillance program, and that's also coming up next month. So one of the great things about being in veterinary services for me is that there's just such variety. So you could find yourself, one day you're collecting samples in a slaughter facility, the next day you're collecting samples from live animals on a farm, certifying export certificates the next. So there's always something new, always something interesting. And that has been the best thing for me. It's just constant stimulation, always learning. And as a veterinarian, that's something that was really important to me. And when I took this role on here as the field VMO in the Piedmont section, I was really excited to see the diversity of the work. So very interesting things. And I hope that this session has been helpful for everyone. And I would say, please feel free, if you have questions pertaining specifically to the veterinary medical officer position, please feel free to reach out. And I'm always happy to help with that. And now I would like to introduce Ms. Faith Sprague, who is an animal health technician with field operations. And Faith.
Thank you, Dr. Kennedy. My name is Faith Sprague. I'm an animal health technician for USDA's Veterinary Services. Like Dr. Kennedy said, I currently am deployed, so apologies for my appearance. Just doing this on my lunch break. I'm currently at a prim that has 1.2 million birds It's a layer operation, and I'm helping ensure that the carcasses are composted properly. I've been with VS for about a year and a half. I graduated from NC State with a bachelor's degree in animal science, and I started working for VS shortly after. So as an animal health technician, you can do a wide array of field work, very similar to what Dr. Kennedy said. It's a big variety. Some of the daily activities include things such as sample collection, attending livestock sales, inspections, and public outreach. Some types of sample collection are scrapie, BSE, blood tissue collection, and live bird market. For scrapie, we either collect a lymph node and a piece of the brainstem, or we do a rectal biopsy. For BSE, we collect a lymph node and a piece of the brainstem, very similar to the way that we collect a scrapie sample. Blood tissue collection is collecting blood and tissue samples from the slaughter plants. And the samples that we collect from live bird markets are oropharyngeal tracheal swabs. So we kind of take a little Q-tip and we swab the back of their mouth. While at livestock sales, we monitor the unloading of animals. So we're looking at things such as back tag placement, proper identification, and proper interstate movement documents. We're also looking at animal health. So we're monitoring for things such as cancer eye, or downer animals. And we're also looking at animal welfare in case there's any concerns there. For inspections, we do garbage feeder inspections and listed livestock market inspections, and that's quarterly. And these activities, they can vary slightly depending on your geographical location. So some states, they don't have live bird markets. So obviously they wouldn't be collecting samples at live bird markets if there are none in their state. Next slide, please. So in addition to the normal duties of an AHT, like Dr. Kennedy also said, we can deploy as emergency response officials to assist with containing animal disease outbreaks. Typically, the deployments last about 21 days, and there will be about 2 days of travel. The position that you would deploy as would be based on your experience level. Typically, I work in North Carolina, but I've been deployed to Utah 3 times, Iowa twice, and Pennsylvania. And I've listed some of the positions that I've deployed as just to show the diversity of the positions. There's so many options, so many different things that you can do as an AHT. If anyone has any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. No issue with that. And this concludes my presentation. I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Dakota Allen. Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. We appreciate you being here, guys. This concludes today's presentation. If you would like to complete a survey, please scan the QR code and complete the survey that appears. If you need additional time, please let us know in the comments section. I will leave this up so you should have plenty of time. Now we'd like to open the floor for any questions. Please feel free to put those into the Q&A section, and we will be answering them, calling them out if we think that it's a good question for the group. Thanks for attending this Veterinary Services learning session, and we hope you have a very happy holidays.
I was able to respond to one of the questions on the Q&A chat. Let's see.
There's a question from an anonymous participant. The question is, what is the general turnaround time for selection if you have already applied for APHIS positions and been referred?
Elroy, I can take that. It depends on the turnaround time, but if you have been referred, it is up to the manager to contact you if an interview is appropriate. But any questions you have regarding that, you can contact the Human Resources contact information within that job announcement. Thank you.
Another question, they're asking, will there be opportunities for vet graduates in the UK? There's opportunities for anybody who's, wants to apply, anybody who's interested. It doesn't matter, if you're from the UK, you can apply, and if you're able to, come here and work, that it doesn't matter.
And this is Teresa. And you also do have to meet the conditions of employment. Not knowing your situation, one of the conditions of employment for our positions is either you are a U.S. citizen or a U.S. national.
Mhm.
There's another question, Teresa, asking, would we have a copy of the Zoom meeting sent to their emails?
In order, yes, we will. This is being recorded. If you would like a copy of the presentation of the recording, actually, if you can scan the QR code that Dakota has up right now, the last question does ask for your email address. So if you can provide us your email address, we will be sure to submit that to you along with additional information regarding our organization. Thank you.
You see a question in the Q&A. It's from an anonymous participant. What is recommended for undergrads to do if we want to be USDA veterinarians in the future? What would make one a competitive applicant? So your undergrads that you're currently in school, I would suggest applying for our upcoming Salty Wilson junior internship program. That will be open sometime in the spring time frame, between most likely in the March time frame. That particular program is geared towards students who are looking to receive their veterinary medical degree. So, so for undergraduate, they'll have to basically, to stay in the program, they have to apply and get accepted into vet school. And then once they graduate vet school, they will then be eligible to convert into a permanent VMO position upon graduation. So that is a way to become a veterinarian in USDA. One of our popular internship programs that we have for VMO students, well, students who are studying to get their DVM and to become a VMO. We have that information in these slides. So when we send an information out, it'll have all the details about that. And we'll also provide the fact sheets for that program. Hope I answered.
And I was going to say, and Dr. Kennedy, do you have any suggestions for them as one of our veterinarians?
Sure. I would say if someone is interested in the pathway of becoming a USDA veterinarian, I would say that the internship opportunities that you guys have mentioned are certainly great options. Another option, they can reach out to their academic advisors and look for opportunities that are going to expose them to things that they do not have exposure to at the time. So, for example, if you are an undergrad and maybe you've worked in a veterinary clinic or something like that, with small animals, I would say go out and search for opportunities where you're going to be working with livestock or poultry, things like that, to see if that type of work out in the field is something that you're going to be interested in. And I think the more diverse your background, your experience, and things like that, I think the better, because as you're moving through veterinary school and moving on to your career, it's something that will continuously change. It's not like you get to a point, you're like, all right, this is what I am, this is the veterinarian I'm going to be. You're going to be continuously evolving. So you don't want to you don't want to forget about some of those things that are out there for you. And like I mentioned, livestock, poultry, go to the livestock markets, go to sales, you get an opportunity, visit slaughterhouses, just get that exposure. And I think all of the things that you'll learn in that will really help you to determine the route that you want to take, because there's a wide variety of veterinary positions with veterinary services. Many of us work in laboratories. Many of us are in the field. Some of us are epidemiology experts with specific species. So there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of possibilities for folks.
Thank you, Dr. Kennedy.
I see a question in the Q&A from an anonymous participant. I applied on USA Jobs before a posting had closed, but then I got the notice your eligibility cannot be established at this time because we are no longer accepting applications for this position. Is that just what they say when an application has been rejected?
I can take that, Jamila.
Oh, yep.
I think regarding that application, it is suggested that you actually contact the HR person within the announcement. They're able to assist you with that. Thank you.
There could also be a variety of reasons. Sometimes a job only allows a certain number of applications, and it'll be listed there. So that could be why it would close before the window closes. But certainly that you wouldn't receive that email if you were rejected. You would receive an email specifying that you do not meet the qualifications.
Thank you both, Dakota and Teresa. I see a question I'm gonna go to the Q&A. Another question from an anonymous participant. As a non-veterinary student interested in USDA positions, what tips can you provide when completing an application? Anyone want to take that?
Dakota, did you want to take it as the navigating USA Jobs?
Sorry, I was answering a question in chat. Can you repeat that, Jamila? Sorry.
Sure, no problem. As a non-veterinary student interested in USDA positions, what tips can you provide when completing an application?
Well, I'm not a veterinary student, and I was obviously interested in applying with the USDA. So really, you're just going to want to make sure that you meet any of the qualifications in that job application. Make sure you have all of that in your resume. Again, we have positions that run the gamut. We have most of our largest group of employees are veterinarians. However, myself, Jamila, Teresa, and Elroy, we're not veterinarians, and here we are with the USDA. So yeah, just make sure that whatever position you're applying for, that you're making sure that you have experience for every single one of those requirements in the job announcement.
That is correct. And also, within the announcement, you can a lot of times preview the assessment questions before applying to be sure that, you meet the qualifications before you go through the whole process.
I see a question from Trinity McNeil, and she asks, are there any suggested entry-level positions that recent graduates should look for or look into? It depends on what you graduated for. I mean, there's a lot of animal health technician positions that are opening up entry-level positions. It depends on what you majored in school, and then you could see if the position applies to what you majored in. But
yeah, if I could add, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dakota.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if I could add to that, Elroy, I actually came onto this team, into this position, through the recent graduate pathway. I was already with the USDA, but I actually applied externally as a recent graduate as I had finished my master's degrees and came on here. So definitely look out for that. Recent graduate pathways is a very good resource for someone who has just finished college. Otherwise, when you're on USA Jobs, if you're looking for entry level, you'll want to look in like the GS 5 to 8 to 9 range, as opposed to the GS 11 to 12. That's generally not going to be entry level.
And then,
I was
of
just
course,
gonna,
the filter. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just going to mention what Dakota said as far as the recent graduate program, that Pathways program. Those positions are entry level and they are ladder positions. So you basically go through a ladder process to get to that. I think you graduate at the GS 11 or once you convert into the next position. Yes. So, and it's a lot of them on USA jobs and within USDA that you can search on USA jobs. You can actually create a save search so you can save positions that you're searching on USA jobs, and you can save them to your profile, and then you can always go back to them, and you can also get those like through your email as well, just to help with that tracking process of those positions. So.
And as a recent grad, it is one of the top filters on the USA jobs. So when you go in there, that is a filter selection for all recent graduate positions, not just USDA, but as a whole that will come up.
We did have a couple people ask for our guest speakers' emails in the chat. If you are comfortable with that, Trinity and Dr. Kennedy.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be happy to share my email. I can drop it in the chat really quick.
Awesome. Thank you.
I see another question in the Q&A from anonymous participant. Are there positions that veterinary technicians can fit into? I've been a urology technician for about a decade now and have worked with companion and exotic animals. So we do have veterinarian techs. It's the vet techs. I believe they would be in what division is that? Is it FIOPS? No. We have them in, I want to say D&B, but I know we have animal health technicians. But maybe Dr. Kennedy can add some.
Sure. Sure. So for folks who have experience, as like a regular technician, sounds like you have a decade, 10 years of experience working, and I'm sure you've amassed a great amount of experience in that time. The animal health technician position that we have with FIOP, that's actually the position that Faith holds right now. Given the experience as a technician, you would be very well suited for an animal health technician position within FIOP, because a lot of the things that Faith, for example, will take care of every day are blood collection and other sample collections and things like that. That as a technician working in a clinic, you would be very familiar with those types of things already. So I would say if I were a veterinary technician looking to go into USDA, I would be taking a strong look at the animal health technician positions within FIOPS.
Here I see another question from an anonymous participant. Are there positions that veterinary technicians can fit into? I've been a neurologist technician for about a decade now, and I have worked with companion and exotic animals. Did somebody answer that already?
Yeah, Dr. Kennedy just provided some information on that one.
She just did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see if we have any other questions. Looks like we pretty much answered all of them. Is that correct?
Yeah, the meeting chat is clear. I don't believe I missed any.
Yeah.
No.
And I hope all of you that are still on, if you did take some time to complete the survey attached and also provide your email address. And if you did, we will be sure to send out a copy of the recording to you along with some information from Veterinary Services to include our fact sheets for our Salty Wilson Scholarship. For those of you that are studying to become veterinarians, our scholarship program, the Salty Wilson, will be open during around the time frame of March 2024. So by providing your email address, we will be sure to send you the link to the announcement for you to apply. And then we're going to give you guys probably another minute to ask any more questions that you may have. But I want to take this time to thank our guest speakers, Dr. Kennedy and Ms. Faith, for joining us and letting us know, your everyday duties within veterinary services. So we appreciate you taking the time, and also to the team, Jamila, Dakota, Elroy, thank you. And then we'll give you guys a few more minutes. But again, thank you for joining us.